Let me ask you something bold. When was the last time you truly felt like a man physically, mentally, sexually? I'm not talking about performance. I'm talking about that deep, quiet power. The kind that doesn't shrink in silence or fade with age. Because here's the truth. If you stop using one of the most essential parts of your masculine biology, your body starts forgetting it was ever there. And by the time most men notice, it's already slipping away. Let's not sugarcoat it. When you ignore this part of yourself, your drive, your sexual identity, it doesn't just sit dormant. It quietly decays. But there's a better way, and you'll discover it in the next few minutes. This isn't just about masturbation or sex. It's about reclaiming something that belongs to you, your energy, your vitality, your presence. In this video, you'll learn what really happens when older men stop stimulating their sexual system, how ignoring this part of yourself leads to mental fog, depression, prostate problems, and disconnection, and most importantly, how to return naturally, privately, powerfully. Because being sexually alive at 60, 70, or 80 isn't about performance. It's about staying fully alive. Let's get real about what happens when you stop touching yourself in your 60s and beyond. This isn't about guilt. It's about biology. Your penis is a vascular organ. That means its health relies heavily on blood flow. When you stop using it, whether because of shame, fear, religion, or simple disinterest, your body responds like it does with any unused muscle. It begins to shut down. Capillaries shrink. Oxygen delivery drops. Sensation dulls. The brain stops sending strong signals. And slowly, the connection between your desire and your body weakens. But it doesn't stop there. Your testosterone hormone that governs mood, confidence, bone density, muscle mass also responds to sexual activity, not just intercourse. Even arousal, fantasy, self-stimulation keeps the system alive. Let's talk about Richard, 64, retired Navy officer, stoic, powerful. But when he came to me, his voice was low. "I feel numb," he said, "not just down there, everywhere." He hadn't touched himself in over a year, said it felt weird at his age, like something meant to be left behind. But his whole system was atrophying, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He stopped drawing, stopped dating, stopped feeling. We didn't give him pills, we gave him permission to begin again, slowly, gently. Weeks later, he smiled. Posture lifted, dopamine, testosterone, oxytocin climbing again. Another man, Samuel, 72, widower, hadn't had any form of sexual expression in over 3 years. His sleep was poor, his mood flat. He chalked it up to grief and age. But after just 4 weeks of mindful solo exploration, no pressure, no goal, she's energy returned. He told me, "It's not about sex, it's about feeling alive again." And he's right. Sexual energy is life force. It's your body's way of reminding you you're still here. Even the medical literature agrees. Regular sexual stimulation in older men is associated with improved cardiovascular health, cognitive function, even reduced risk of certain cancers. We're not saying this to stir desire. We're saying it to stir awareness. Because when you disconnect from this part of yourself, you don't go neutral, you go numb. And numb is dangerous because you stop noticing what your body needs. You stop seeking connection. You stop reaching toward life. But when you return even just a little, you light that circuit again. You say to your nervous system, "I remember you, let's wake back up." Use it or lose it isn't a joke. It's biology, and it's your choice. Let's go deeper. Because this isn't just about lost erections or fading libido. When you suppress your sexual energy, it doesn't vanish. It doesn't politely sit in the corner. It finds other ways to leak out. It becomes irritation, frustration, sleeplessness, that low-grade tension in your jaw, that restless pacing at night, that feeling of being disconnected even when you're surrounded by people. Sexual energy is primal. It's not polite. It's not controllable by intellect alone. And when ignored, it mutates. Think of it like a river. If you dam it up without creating an outlet, it spills over in strange ways. Anger, overworking, emotional numbness, addiction, withdrawal. Alan, a 67-year-old client of mine, came in after a painful divorce. He said, "What's the point anymore?" He hadn't touched himself in nearly 2 years. He poured everything into his work 70-hour weeks, travel, meetings. He looked successful, but under the surface, he was depleted. He had anxiety, brain fog, low energy, woke up tired, went to bed wired, couldn't sit still yet, couldn't move forward. Doctors gave him sleeping pills. Therapists talked about grief, but no one asked about the part of him that he had completely shut down his sexual self. I didn't give him pressure. I gave him a question. What if your body isn't broken? What if it's just unheard? He cried, for the first time in years. That was the breakthrough. Because the truth is, sexual energy doesn't have to mean sex. It can mean movement, creativity, playfulness, confidence, touch, expression. When you suppress that energy, you're not just denying pleasure, you're denying life force. There's a reason men who stay sexually expressive, even if just through solo connection, tend to stay sharper, more grounded, more emotionally balanced. And it's not about youth. It's about circulation of blood, of emotion, of energy. If you felt that emptiness in your chest at night, or that edge in your voice when talking to your partner, or that hollow feeling in your gut when you look in the mirror, that's not just stress. That's stagnation. But here's the best part. It's reversible. You don't need a partner. You don't need a pill. You don't need permission from anyone but yourself. Just the willingness to reconnect and the courage to start. Your sexual energy is not shameful. It's sacred. Let's get real about the organ no one wants to talk about, but every man over 60 needs to understand: your prostate. You can't see it. You don't think about it, but it controls a huge portion of how you feel, from how you urinate, to how you climax, to how you sleep at night. The prostate sits just below your bladder. It wraps around your urethra and plays a key role in producing semen. And here's what most guys don't realize. When you stop ejaculating regularly, your prostate doesn't shut down, it gets congested. Picture a sponge that's constantly absorbing fluid but never gets wrung out. Eventually, it gets bloated, stiff, inflamed. This is what happens to your prostate when you ignore it. And it shows up in ways you don't immediately connect, like pressure in the pelvis, frequent urination, hesitation at the toilet, discomfort during sex, interrupted sleep. Let me introduce you to Gerald. He was 69, fit, active, a widower. He hadn't ejaculated in almost 2 years, not because he couldn't, but because he didn't feel the urge. He said, "That part of me just feels retired." But retirement came with consequences. He started waking up 4, 5 times a night, felt like he could never fully empty his bladder. Sitting for long periods became uncomfortable. His doctor said it was normal aging, but it wasn't. It was stagnation. We created a protocol: gentle prostate massage, pelvic floor awareness, arousal without goal, and yes, intentional release. After 90 days, he reported back, "I feel more in control. I sleep through the night. I even feel lighter in my chest." That's the power of healthy stimulation. Now, let's back it up with science. The prostate relies on movement and circulation. When it's stagnant, it's more prone to inflammation, enlargement, and even infection. Some studies link chronic prostatitis directly with a lack of sexual activity. What most people don't tell you is that prostate congestion isn't always caused by bacteria. Often, it's caused by disuse, by disconnection, by ignoring this essential part of your male anatomy. And here's another layer. Your prostate isn't isolated. It's deeply connected to your nervous system. When your prostate is inflamed, it sends stress signals to the brain. You may feel anxious, restless, on edge. You may not even realize it's coming from below the belt. So when you stimulate that area through touch, through breath, through mindful connection, you're not just helping your body physically, you're regulating your mood. You're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, the one that tells your body, you're safe now. Sexual health isn't just about erection, it's about function, and function is freedom. You don't need to perform to stay healthy. You need to stay connected. And the connection doesn't come from shame or pressure. It comes from attention, curiosity, willingness to keep showing up for your body, even if it's changed. So, if you've been living with discomfort, if you've been waking up at night to pee, if you've been wondering where the spark went, start here with awareness, with care, with touch. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Because your prostate isn't just an organ, it's a messenger, and it's trying to tell you something. You're not done yet. Now that we face the truth about what happens when you shut down this system, let's talk about how to get it back. Because here's the reality. You can reclaim your sexual vitality, not with performance pills, not with a new partner, but with your own hands, breath, and awareness. There are 3 pillars to sexual reawakening in your 60s, 70s, and beyond: awareness, intention, and consistency. Let's start with awareness. Most men have been disconnected from their lower body for decades. We live from the neck up, solving problems, managing stress, chasing success, and we lose the language of the body. So the first step is simply noticing. Tune in. During the day, check in with your pelvis. Is it tense, numb, aching, warm, cold? Don't judge it, just observe. Then move into intention. This means setting aside space for yourself, not to get off, not to meet a quota, but to reconnect. Find a quiet place. No distractions, no agenda, just presence. Use your hands, use breath, use imagination. This is not about fantasy or pornography. This is about presence. Exploring your own body like an old friend you haven't seen in years, with curiosity, with patience. Many men ask, is it okay to touch myself at this age? The answer is simple. Yes. Not only is it okay, it's necessary. Because stimulation is not indulgence. It's maintenance. It's survival. Now comes the third pillar, consistency. You don't need long sessions, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just like brushing your teeth or stretching your legs. A small act of reconnection each day keeps your sexual circuitry alive. Over time, this daily attention reactivates dormant nerves. It rewires pleasure pathways. It tells your endocrine system, we're still alive. Let's keep producing. And the benefits extend far beyond the bedroom. Clients report better sleep, sharper focus, lighter moods, even decreased inflammation and chronic pain. One man, 74, told me, after 2 months of simple, non-goal stimulation, my energy came back. Not in a teenage way, in a grounded way. I walk taller. I speak clearer. I feel more like myself. Another, 68, said, it gave me back my inner compass, like I could trust my instincts again. This is the unseen power of sexual vitality. It restores your connection to life. Let me be clear. You don't need to climax every time. You don't need to use porn. You don't need to perform. You just need to return to your body with honesty and care. If you feel awkward at first, good. That means you're stepping into new territory. Growth always feels strange in the beginning. If you feel resistance, don't fight it. Breathe through it. This isn't about pleasure for pleasure's sake. This is about reclaiming ownership over a part of yourself that was never meant to be abandoned. Because your sexuality, your desire, your fire, your presence is not tied to age. It's tied to attention. Start with a breath, a hand, a memory. Start with now. You don't need permission. You just need a decision. You've made it this far. Why stop now? You've made it this far, and that says something powerful about you. Most men avoid this conversation. They push it aside. They pretend they're fine. They numb out. But you didn't. You leaned in. That alone is a return to strength. Because real strength isn't about suppressing your urges. It's about owning your energy with clarity, with discipline, with courage. So here's what I want you to remember. 1. Your body is not broken. It may be quiet, disconnected, dormant, but it's still alive, still listening, still waiting for your signal to return. 2. You don't need anyone else's permission to reclaim your power. Not society's, not your partner's, not your past self. You're the gatekeeper now. 3. Every time you breathe deeply, every time you touch yourself with curiosity, every time you tune into that quiet part of you, you are healing. Healing shame, healing disconnection, healing the lie that aging means fading. Because here's the deeper truth. Men who stay connected to their sexual energy, who keep their inner fire burning differently, they carry a presence, a light, a grounded confidence that you can't fake. They don't chase youth. They embody power. And that's what this is about. So don't wait for a better time. Don't wait until your next doctor's visit. Don't wait until the spark dies completely. Start now. Start small. One breath, one touch, one moment of awareness. If this message landed for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a brother, a friend, a man who might be silently suffering, too proud to ask for help. Because this isn't just about you. It's about all of us. Creating a space where men are allowed to feel, to connect, to thrive. And if you want more content like this conversations no one else is having, subscribe to the channel and check out the next video. Why erections after 60 aren't about size, they're about survival. Because this journey doesn't end here. Stay strong, stay curious, stay connected. You're not done. You're just getting started.